your body next to me, I begin to sweat. When we touch, I lose control. Now you know what's next. Fantasizing all the time of your body next to mine.
I sent this tape to every company in New York, and they turned it down. This is not what we're looking for. We're not into this. So I was like, fine.
But his tape was huge in the clubs.
Well, I need your love. I need your love. I need your love.
Your Love was the year zero in the evolution of house music.
Oh, I need your touch. Don't make me wait for your love.
Listen to it, man. It's a brilliant track. You know, you take a hit nowadays and you ask somebody what was so good about it, they can't really tell you. Oh, this hook, the hook, oh, you know, oh, the bass line, all that. But you know, a great song is a great song. And that Jamie did some great songs, like 3 or 4 in a row, and they went all over the city, but they just weren't out on record.
I mean, I feel like it was a divine hand in it because it was so many different variables. If I wasn't in this situation, I wouldn't have wrote the song. I wasn't going to ever take the tapes to Frankie, so my friend had to do it. If he never would have did it, you know, none of this would be how it is now. I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you right now. So it's a divine situation for me.
I mean, it's still to this day totally hypnotic. The version of Your Love that got released was not the best one. It was
the
okay.
One that was, the one that was released.
It wasn't the best one, you know. I mean, the original still isn't released.
Which
and
I still need to get a copy of that.
Yeah, it's around. I got one.
Okay.
But it's just on tape because it never was on record.
No longer about recycling old disco, house was something new, something fresh. It just wasn't on vinyl until On and On.
Jesse Saunders, On and On. The very first house record. To this day, I've had people offer me $1,000 for this, if not more.
I had noticed that all of the girls thought that he was such a cute guy DJ. And he said he was singing, so I thought I'd put him in front. You know, I thought that, you know, okay, you have a band, you got a cute guy up front, you know, heartthrob for the girls, you got the musicians taking care of business behind the scenes.
So Vince, you know, Vince is the type of person, he's just Mr. Information. He just goes, oh, we do this, and my father has a record label, and it does this, and the pressing plan is here, and this is how you do the label, and this is what you do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like, okay,
And we didn't like know what we were making. We were just making music from what we listened to at the club. Everything was 4 on the floor, so that's what we started making, you know.
I recorded like the drums here and the bass and put like overdubs and the keys, all kinds of effecty synth stuff on there. And then Vince and I, you know, did like this corny little rap.
And Jesse liked this line from White Horse where it said, bitch, wanna be rich, got to be a bitch. So it goes on and on. And then Jesse says, bitch.
Inside my soul, make me throw on and on. Just clapping to the beat. Jesse thinks it's me. It's on and on.
Jesse and Vince got their tune into the clubs and onto the radio. By the time they turned up at imports, etc., On and On was a must-have record.
And they're like, where'd you get this record? They're like, we made it. It was us. We did it. We did this record. And the guy said, really, what do you mean? I'm like, well, we made the record. It's our record. It's on our record company. See, that's my handwriting on the label.
Vince wrote this. This was just a blank cover. He hand wrote this himself.
He goes, how many you got? I'm like, you might want to think about it, because I got 1,000 of them in my car. How many do you want? And he says, I'll take them all. How much do you want for them? And I very quickly thought to myself, okay, it costs us $1 to make the records. And I want to get $2 at least, because then I'll make 50 cents and Jesse will make 50 cents and we'll be cool. I said, $4. figuring a guy would want to negotiate me down. He said, okay. And he wrote me a check for $4,000. Jesse and I walked out of the store, got in the car, and screamed. And we were selling 20 and 30,000 records just in Chicago. I was maybe 17, 18 years old driving a Corvette, you know, and flying to New York and doing all this stuff that, you know, up until that point was all just, you know, pipe dreams to me.
It didn't sound like much, but On and On was the spark that triggered the Chicago house boom.
That was the single most important record to me of the 20th century because it let the non-musician know that he could make music.
Everybody thought when they first heard the record was, gee, I can do better than that, and why don't I give it a shot? The first thing you have to do is you have to start off with a strong kick drum. And then you have to have a bass line. And from there, you build on it. You build on it with snare drums. You build on it with the hi-hat. You build on it with the rim shot, with the claps.
And then we just needed something to say over it. So I ended up saying Time to Jack and just kind of pitch my voice down a little bit. And history was made.
Time to Jack. Time to Jack. Time to Jack.
I can remember the first time I heard it played in a club was a club on Rush Street called the Mars Bar, and Farley was playing there. And I took it to him, and he looked at it, he put it on, and he listened to it in the headphones. About 5 seconds later, he slammed the fader over, and you hear just this thump, boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden you hear, Time to Jack. The crowd just went fucking wild. People just lost their minds.
Time to Jack.
By 1985, every kid in Chicago with a drum machine was making house.
For a time, Chicago house just took over. You couldn't go to a club and just not hear our music, and it was a great moment.
Now it was about to take flight outside Chicago.
Too far gone, ain't no way back. Too far gone.
Larry Sherman owned Chicago's only record pressing plant. As the first wave of house tracks emerged, he launched the Trax label.
If the guy brought in a tape today, I tried to have a record out within a week. That's kind of what set Trax apart, was the ability to get the materials into the marketplace. We didn't have to wait for somebody to say, well, I think this might be a good record, I might buy it. We came in and said, this is a great record and you need it. This is house. Do you like it? It's wonderful stuff.
Early releases like Adonis's No Way Back defined the emerging house sound.
Release my soul, I lost control. Release.
But it was business skill that made Trax the dominant label.
Too far gone. Too far gone.
Vinyl at that time was running about 70 cents a pound or 30 cents a record, roughly. I couldn't afford it to produce large quantities because the cash flow was terrible. So I bought large quantities of new unsold records.
Then he'd grind them up, and he'd reprocess them again and make new records, which is why his records always had the pops, and they weren't like very well pressed, and they would warp and everything because it wasn't virgin vinyl.
And I apologize to the public on this one. The reason that some of the records were at best shoddy at some times was because I just ran the parts. If they would still fit in the machine and didn't come out, I was running records. Made the best record you could make for a quarter.
By now, club kids were firing the music's evolution. In late '85, a couple of music box fans spawned a new style of house by abusing a machine designed for karaoke.